Men of Reddit, what's a thing that can be scary about being a man? It is terrifying how lonely middle age is. I can absolutely understand why so many middle-aged men commit suicide. I'm actually trying hard to get out and meet people, but it's difficult. I'm an outgoing guy, and it is hard to form friendships with other guys. Then I imagine how all the socially awkward men just don't even bother anymore. Being expected to make the first move always gets me super anxious. I hate the idea of misreading a situation or making a woman uncomfortable, so I tend to disregard a lot of obvious hints when I first start seeing someone. Oh, I am the type to make moves, so I totally see this. I think the best solution is to be blunt and talk things out, even if it's awkward. At least you have an answer from them and some understanding. When I was a teenage boy, my sister fell into a river. My dad put his hand on my back and pushed me in after her, saying go get her. Her leg was stuck on something, but I got it free and she swam back to shore. I, however, was pinned by branches under the water that had somehow gotten around me. There was a whole tree under the surface. I remember looking up to the water's surface and seeing the silhouettes of my family members walk away from the edge and thinking, no wait. Long story short, my fight or flight system kicked in and I scrambled as hard as I could to free myself and eventually got free and came up to take the best breath ever. When I was crawling back on the sand, my dad, sister and brother were about 100 yards down the bank. He turned and said, come on, and I hurried after while gagging on water. That about sums up my experience so far. People just expect you to be okay in obviously dangerous situations. I knew guys who drank themselves to death because liquor is easy, but saying I need help is hard. That's just terrible from your dad, I'm gonna be honest. I jump in, not my son. Everyone expects so much of you and feel they owe you nothing. You must provide, you must defend, you must be solid as a rock and yet know how to deal with people in the most respectful and submissive way, otherwise you will be the jerk. In all situations, if you are a man, you will never be the victim at first, and if you are, shame on you because you were not strong enough. You are responsible for everyone, but no one needs to worry about you. Two men fighting? Both stupid, violent man just doing toxic men things. The reason for the fight does not matter, there are no victims here, and then the loneliness. No one wants to be friends with you. I mean, as far as we know, any man is a potential rapist, robber or killer, right? It is okay to discriminate man because they can handle it like a man, can't they? My last relationship, I got cheated on. She, my ex, spread rumors that I was abusive and violent to hide the fact she's an unloyal person. I had to find out through her best friend messaging me asking me if it was true, because I seemed like the nicest person, and she wanted to know the truth. I explained and she was shocked. I was shocked. I didn't think she'd stoop lower than she had done already. I'm lucky no one took her serious enough to contact the authorities. I had a similar thing happen with one of my crazy exes, but instead she accused me of violating her and started spreading rumors around the town about it. I live in a small town, so the word got around quick. It got so bad at one point I didn't leave my house for 2 weeks. Luckily the rumors started dying when she left town, but the damage was already done. I am pretty young, but somehow, this crap still happens. I was playing with my sisters at the park, and we were playing tag. At one point, this middle-aged lady comes up to my sisters and asks if they know me, and how they know me and whatever. I come up to her and say, those are my sisters, and she just gives me the stink eye, ignores me, and turns back to my sisters and keeps interrogating them. It was only after my mom came to see what was going on that the lady left. BTW, I'm in middle school and have been mistaken for being 11 years old, so I don't know what that lady thought I was doing. Maybe she was trying to kidnap your sisters. Being told to man up when you're having a terrible day. You could be the most depressed person on the planet and no one would give a crap. It's something I've been thinking about recently and it's making me even more depressed. I don't know if it is actually scary for me, but awkward and something I overthink. I am over 6 feet 5 inches, can kind of come off as intimidating due to that alone, but I'm really just a teddy bear. At my job, I have to walk through a dark alley in a downtown area to get to the parking lot. Lots of times, There are women walking back to go to their cars as well, and then my lumbering loner self is walking behind them. I feel awkward and scared they are going to think I am going to hurt them or I'm going to rob them or something. I'm just trying to get home. I follow farther behind, always act as inconspicuous as possible, which probably makes me more suspicious. Get on my phone like I am texting or act like I am calling someone so they can hear I am far behind them and not stalking up on them. Maybe it's just my social awkwardness or the fact there is a lot of crime that happens in our town, but I don't want to be seen as a threat by people I would never hurt. I made sure to know my regular women around where I worked so that I can follow them back to their cars when I worked at another retail chain. They get a big do to protect them at night and I don't have to walk by myself. You're pretty much on your own. Less of your problems are taken seriously. You're seen as weak if you can't sort them out. You're expected to throw yourself in harm's way at a moment's notice. The courts look at you less favorably. So does a large portion of society. You're seen as a potential debaucher and diddler. I love kids but God forbid I smile at one in public. You're the one who has to be able to sort everything out, even if you sometimes feel like just curling up in a ball and crying. I'm 29 and don't have a girlfriend. My fear isn't so much not finding someone. There's always time for that. My fear is meeting someone I think is the right person, having kids and it doesn't turn out to be the case. I'm 29, met someone I thought was the right person, had a daughter and it didn't turn out to be the case. Yep, it sucks. How we're pretty much left to ourselves in the case of rape, domestic violence or abuse. Speaking on behalf of my husband, the sheer expectation that he can shoulder everyone's stress. If you are a man with emotional intelligence, people will simultaneously act like you are both a rare unicorn, and that you must take that emotional intelligence and merge it with the men can shoulder it all mentality. This means he's utilized way too often by too many family and friends who don't make any emotional effort. He's asked to manage everyone's drama. He doesn't, but the sheer expectation that he won't burn out simply because he is a man is hard to watch. I've been there, and I had to distance myself because of it, which leads to accusations of abandonment, etc. This is not limited to just men, but to all people. Your whole identity is wrapped up in your job. You weren't born to be a doctor, lawyer or entrepreneur. You must be some kind of loser. Your industry is laying people off. You're definitely a loser. Your fault for choosing the wrong major 20 years ago. Gosh, this hits home. No assumed support network. Too many men become isolated and lonely because they cannot share their emotions with their friends. Government services will also put you right to the bottom of every list, so don't become homeless. Yeah, although I've sort of forced it upon myself, because I don't want to bother anyone. This one's a lot less serious than the other answers, but having to be the one to make the first move with a girl is utterly terrifying. I asked the girl I've been crushing on for her number a few days ago, and even though it worked out, I felt like I was about to throw up from all the nerves. It still has an impact and is arguably way more common. I feel you, bro, with that one. It's a shame, especially when you don't know how to approach people. Being in an abusive relationship and physically harassed and not having people take you seriously about ITM. The loneliness of it. I've got a small but very close-knit group of friends and family, but even still I sometimes wonder why I'm so unlovable because I'm still single. People tell women all the time they don't need no man, but for guys, if you're single you're seen as a creep, weirdo or defective in some way. I don't think anyone sees me as a creep, weirdo, or defective because I'm 30 and still single, but I definitely do. It makes me feel worthless a lot, and even if I did get a girlfriend I feel like I wouldn't be able to keep her for long because I'd still be undeserving crap. It's hard when self-hatred gets ingrained. The first time one of your balls ascends into your groin. Being told that because you're a man you aren't allowed to succumb to your chronic lower back pain. That you're less of a man because you have some days where you have trouble walking or even getting out of bed because it hurts to even breathe. Expectations to be a man. It's actually pretty straightforward. Step 1. Be swift as a coursing river. Fear of failing the people who are depending on you. This hit hard. Expressing feelings. I'm still a human. I should be able to express my feelings without seeming weak. 100%. Even men push this bulls to other men. It's so garbage. It fricked me up for quite a few years of my life before I said frick it and expressed my feelings in any way I wanted. Losing your dong in an industrial accident. Industrial accident, just a fancy way of saying putting your dong somewhere it doesn't belong. As a teacher, I can't help a female student without people thinking I'm trying to frick her. My sister stayed after in a class along with another girl her age to retake a test, and after my sister finished the test, she got ready to leave. The teacher, who is a man, asked her to stay until the other student was done. I can only assume it's because the male teacher didn't want to be alone in the classroom with a female student. That in some circumstances, you can be blamed of inappropriate behavior even if you didn't intend for it, and still not be able to justify it. That sometimes you're expected to make the first move or show dominance, like when proposing, or leading a group to do something, that you can get a boner at any second, and if someone sees it, it either becomes a joke or an embarrassment. And if you get hit down there, then you know what happens. Excruciating pain plus a danger of becoming impotent or related complications. Prostate cancer. It's super treatable if you catch it early. Get your prostate checked regularly after 40. How difficult it can be to find intimacy if you are introverted and not conventionally attractive. Being the one who has to check out that noise downstairs. I'm in college, so I often go to the library cafeteria late at night. It is the most uncomfortable thing to walk back home to my dorm room that a girl in front of me is also walking to. I have to force myself to stop walking or really slow down because I never want the girl to feel uncomfortable. I'd imagine it's a lot more uncomfortable for the girl in front of me, but I am truly terrified of being seen as creepy or as a stalker. In these situations, I have started to take my keys out, hold them by the keychain, and let them jingle a little as a friendly heads up that there's somebody behind and not trying to be weird about it. There were several field studies done on this using actors. I can't remember the exact details, but you should be able to find plenty of examples. Scenario 1. A man and woman, both actors. Woman is in line at a department store or something. The man comes up, grabs her butt, and tries to get her to make love. The woman's script is to basically say I don't want to make love right now while the male continues trying. People get in between them. The man is always close to getting beat up. Scenario 2. A man and woman, man in line. Woman comes up, grabs his butt, and starts trying to get him to frick. The man's script is the same. I don't want to make love right now. Bystanders encourage the woman and tell the man things like come on, do it, etc. Both cases are physical assault harassment. In the case of the male being the victim, the bystanders encouraged the assault harassment instead of trying to stop it, even when the male was vocal about not wanting it. Hello there, I'm John Quinones, with the TV show What Would You Do? The government forcibly sending you to another country to fight a war against opposing soldiers who have also been unwillingly sent into war. The lack of feeling. I can't remember the last time I was excited about anything. That fluttering that you feel in your chest as well as your mind. I miss the passion of childhood. I miss thinking that something, anything mattered. Or, if it does matter, that I can do anything about it. I miss being able to connect with others and feel that shared sense of wonder, and excitement, and life. I miss connecting with anything in any meaningful way. I miss being alive. Alright, I'm not a man, but I'm pretty sure it would be pretty dang scarring getting violated and then people not taking it seriously cause you're a man. Freaking everything man. But the scariest part is that we're not supposed to be scared at all. When your date picks a fight with some random guy in a bar and expects you to defend her trifling butt. Happened to me. I walked up to the guy and calmly explained that I was just on a date, that I no longer care about her, considering the situation she just put me in, and told him I'm out of there. He laughed, we bro-fived and I left. I have no idea what happened to her. Definitely dodged a bullet there. Having an uncomfortable crotch area and having no chance to go to a bathroom to fix it. As a patriarch, you are financially responsible for your family. For most families in the United States, the man is the primary breadwinner. Which means if you suffer a loss of income, your family suffers a loss of lifestyle. So my advice is wait until you're older to have kids, and make sure you spend time with your partner before you have kids to make sure you both fit together nicely. Non-conforming to this mistake personally cost me $80,000, 5 years of headache and a foreclosure. Hope you're doing better now. The fact that your life and safety holds less value than the life of others. Being seen as a child predator simply for being a man near children. Whenever I see a child that might be lost, I need to remind myself not to help no matter how much I want to, because strange man approaching child looks bad to too many people. One day, while shopping with my wife, I noticed a small child without her mother who seemed upset. Ignoring my usual restraint, I approached her to see if she was alright. All of a sudden, her mother emerged from behind a corner, called her over, and gave me a nasty look. I guarantee that had my wife been the one approaching this little girl, she would have been seen as caring and motherly, not evil person who wants to snatch a small child for perverted reasons. You have been visited by the romantic doggo. Comment love is magic so you never fall in the friend zone. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.